Welcome back to Study Hmong. My name is qhovtwg, and we're going to continue our conversation on a very important subject, which is questions. So again, what power is there in a question? How many ways are there to ask questions in a foreign language? Can you have a real conversation with somebody without asking a single question? How many questions have you asked just today? This is video 2 of 3 that teaches Hmong questions, and I invite you to join me for the answers. Watching all 3 videos will give you the formulas to ask just about any question in Hmong. And here's a recap of the categories of the question words you'll learn in these 3 videos. Video 1 covered yes or no questions and choice questions. So questions that require a yes or no answer, and then ones that require a choice, this or that. This video, video 2, is going to cover reporter questions and something called tag questions, where you tag it onto the end of a statement. What you have to look forward to in video 3 are some question variations. I'll leave you in suspense on that one. It's really good. So for these videos, you will find the time correlation to each of these words in the comments below, so you can scrub ahead to review a particular one at any time. Go to our website, studyhmong.com, sign up for classroom courses to get the 13-page worksheet that goes with this lesson, and follow along with me here. I'll be covering the lessons in white Hmong, but the worksheet has some green Hmong variations included in it. It'll be thorough. This lesson, this video, we're going to cover in 2 sections. First, reporter questions, the who, what, when, where, why, and how, along with some of their extended related variations. And we're going to include something called a tag question, where a word is added to the end of the sentence to make the statement into a question. First up, what do we have? Reporter questions. Reporter questions are the following:
who, what, when, where, why, and how.
Before learning those, though, we need to discuss a question word that will be used in several of those examples. The word is TWG. Not oo. T touches the back of the teeth, the and a breathy sound. It means which, as in which one, which. Have I heard this used by itself? Yes. Somebody's talking and the other person's looking around and they just say, which one? It's just implied, which one? But often it gets paired up with a word. Where does it go in the sentence? Well, it can be used at the beginning or the end of the sentence, but it's almost always married to a noun. In English, the noun comes after which. Which one? Which way? Which cat? But in Hmong, it's the opposite. It's the noun and then the. Noun, then the. An example: ya, the, ya, golly. Or golly, ya, the. You can marry them together, ya, the, and put them at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of the sentence, but they go together. Ya, the, ya, golly. Which thing is yours? Or golly, ya, the. Again, yours is which one? You can say ya, ntau. That one there. As you will see, many nouns can get married with the to make questions. You'll see a lot more examples for each of these word sections on the worksheet, but let's go through some of them here. Popular one: ling, the. Ling, the. This means who, or literally person, which. It's a classifier word. Ling, tu is also a classifier word. Tu, tu. This one's real common though. Ling, tu. The noun here that tu is married to is leng, a word for people, classifier word for people. So person plus which. Person which person, person which, who. Who. Where does it go in the sentence? It can go either at the beginning or the ending of the sentence. Here's an example. Length sa ra gu mu. Length sa ra gu mu. Who wants with me go? Who wants to go with me? The focus of your answer here is not a yes or no. It's also not a this or that, like we've covered in video 1. It's who. So answer with who is involved. Gu sa mu. I want to go. I do. I want to go. Me. Gu sa mu. What's another example of this? Next word, tau. Tau. Definition? When. Literally, when which. When which. Sounds redundant, but it works. When. The noun here that is married to is tau. Also a word for when. Now, I know that doesn't make sense. It's like this. In English, when is used both in questions and statements, such as, when, question, do you want to go? The answer, when I feel like it. A statement. Same word when used two different ways. One is a question word, one is a statement word. Hmong does the same thing with tau and tau. You know it's a statement when it's just tau. You know it's a question when it's tau. Helps you to differentiate them a little bit easier in Hmong than it does in English, which is nice. So this same word play can happen in Hmong with this specific word. Tau go sa no. When do you want to eat? Thaumtwg, leejtwg. So the first one was thaumtwg, when do you want to eat? Second one was thaumtwg, leejtwg, tau, when dad gets home. Statement. Works the same way. Where does it go in the sentence? Either the beginning or the ending of the sentence. So another example. Go sa mu, tau tu, go sa mu, tau tu. You want go when? When do you want to go? Answer. Gu sa mu taki, gu sa mu taki. I want to go tomorrow. Okay? See how these are not yes or no answers. You're giving a full answer. You're describing your answer. I want to go tomorrow. I want to go when dad gets home. Shall we keep it going with another word? We have qhovtwg. This means where. The noun here that is married to is qho, a word for place. So qhovtwg means place which. Place which place, where. On page 6 of the worksheet, with a great number of other words, you'll see that qhovtwg, it has a second meaning. It can mean which place or where. It can also mean which thing. Which thing, qhovtwg, which statement, which piece did you like in this paragraph? Okay, but here we're talking about a meaning where. Where does it go in the sentence? Where? Where does where go in the sentence? It goes either at the beginning or the ending of the sentence. Example. Ganya qhovtwg. You live, reside, place, which. Where are you? Gunyatje. I live, house. I'm home. Let's move on to some other reporter question words that do not have in them. One is dabtsi. Dabtsi, it means what? What? Where does it go in the sentence? It can either go at the beginning or the end of the question. An example: qhovtwg. Qhovtwg. You do what? What are you doing? Answer: ma. Let's discuss a little side note. Hmong is set up or sometimes used as not needing to rely on punctuation. I've met many Hmong person who, for one reason or another, doesn't use punctuation in their sentences. So all these question words will imply that that sentence is a question. And honestly, don't tell me that in English you could write a sentence without a punctuation mark and we would still know if it was a question or not. Most of the time, often, maybe we could say. Often. So if you learn all of these question words, you should be able to know which sentences are questions, even if punctuation is missing. Again, just a side thought. Now we have some words coming up that will share another word among them, but with some slight differences. These first two are really similar but have different meanings, so let's see how to use them. First one, leejtwg. Leejtwg. Why? Leejtwg by itself is a different word. We'll talk about that next. But these three parts, leejtwg, all together make one single meaning, why? Where does it go in the sentence? It can go at the beginning or the end. Very nice. An example, leejtwg no. Leejtwg no. Why you not eat? Why are you not eating? You could say thaumtwg no lao. Because I already ate. Thaumtwg no lao. Now, as you can see on the worksheet, there are many variations, very many options for answering this question. Lots of choices. Choices are good. You can hear them all, learn them, and have fun with them. All of them are acceptable. And they all mean because. And I've heard them all used. When you say why, and you answer with because, leejtwg something something, because you say tia something, ha something, ha something, yo something, yo something. All of them. Anyways, have fun with the worksheet on that one. Now we said that there were two. This is the second one. Leejtwg. Very commonly mixed up with leejtwg, which is why. But just leejtwg means how. How. Work hard to differentiate these two in your brain because you will get mixed up. How. Leejtwg, how. So we use this at the end of a question, which it may feel unnatural for us to put a question word at the end of a sentence, but that's how this word works in Hmong, right? So think for English. How did you do it? How did it go? But in Hmong, you have to think different. You did it how? It went how? And try this on for size. You know this question. It's what is your name, but it's literally your name is called how? Your name is called how? We say, what is your name? You can answer Gurumbe Huwa Bang. My name is Peng Bang. Okay. Don't be fooled. You can also use this question word in a sentence and it will still mean how but not be a question. Remember when we ran into this already with the word tau and thaumtwg, meaning when, a question word and used as a statement. It's the same with this word. Here's your example. Gu chi bao hai li jia. It's not a question. Hu chi bao hai li jia. I don't know how to say it. I don't know say how. I don't know how to say it. Okay, that's used as a statement. Li jia. Do you remember tu, ha tu, ling tu? So just like you could add a noun to tu and come up with various questions, you can add different words to li jia to change the usage as well. Shall we cover some of those too? Okay. I look at these words as a puzzle piece and try to make sense of which ones go together and what picture of meaning they really have. It can be a challenge to think differently from our own grammar patterns. If you struggle with some of these, refer to the worksheet. It will help with some examples. And you'd be doing yourself a favor to take some time and look up some examples of these words in other sentences, write them all down together. The more examples you have, the better you'll come to understand how they work and how they're different from each other. So let's look up some li jia variations you may run into. Now these are not in and of themselves question words, but you will often see this word with li jia and how can you use it. Okay, it's just like a variation. So how about 我理解, 我理解. Really, 我 means to do. So to do how. Kind of like a why, or how is it, or what happens. So like ก็อยู่ว่า我理解吧找楼ก็อยู่ว่า我理解吧找楼 You will do how help to them. How can you help them? How is it that you can help them? Another one, 我家. It means why or how is it. I view this as a less formal version of 我理解, but I've seen it in printed literature, not just in spoken conversation. So you could say 我家ก็จีนอหมอ我家ก็จีนอหมอ Why you not eat food or rice? So why aren't you eating? And you can answer the same as any of those วิ理解 questions. Now these are not as common, but we're being thorough, so let's briefly learn a few of these other 理解 variations you might run into. 地理解 地理解 also can mean kind of why, or 地 means like because of how. And we learn how this really works through examples. 地理解干嘛 Why did you go? For what reason did you go? So up to this point, all of these 理解 variations are interchangeable in meaning with วิ理解 from page 7. Branching out, 要理解 要理解 kind of like why. So 要 means, remember, to be, is, am, are. So 要 plus 理解 is like it is how, or how is it, or why. An example, 要理解个我理 it is how you do, or why did you do that? 要理解个我理 and similar. 呀理解 呀 a kind, sort, a type. So what kind? 呀理解 not as common. Hard to find an example. 莫接呀理解娘的歌 What kind of animal is that near you? 莫接呀理解娘的歌 No, that's not a typo. It's not K-O-J. Ga, the same as meaning you. K-O, it references to something near the person you're talking to. Here, bonus word. Where are my glasses? Oh, nyaka. Oh, they're with you, by you. They're on your head or something. Some type of thing. It's over here in their general area. Good. So this is basically a noun plus li jia. These three don't go together. More often they're separated with something like 被呀容理解 right? So there's the ya and then there's the 理解. Sometimes you see them together, sometimes you see them apart. So that's right, they're not married together. Sometimes they just happen to be next door. So sometimes they're spread out. You know what it's similar to is ก็สา理解 The verb สา and leejtwg don't go together, but you'll see them together. Okay, very good. Moving on. This one. leejtwg. leejtwg. How is it? So you will see these words together often. Now this is asking for a description. Don't think of it as two single words. Good, zhong, leejtwg, how, good, how. It doesn't really work like that. It would be more like looking for confirmation, but more like you're asking for a description of what something was like. A person, a meal. For example, qhovtwg, zhong leejtwg. Now it's not saying your husband is good in what ways. It's just, what is your husband like? His features or his personality. qhovtwg, zhong leejtwg. Good. We've been talking a lot about some why and how words. Let's stray a little further and talk about some questions that measure. Measure. How long, how much, etc. This one's not super common, but used. Ha ntev. Ha ntev. How long? Ntev is long, right? So we have shia ntev, like that means patience. Heart, long means patience. Ntev is long, it's length. It can be used for time or distance, right? So, go, hon one time, study, hon how long? How long are the study sessions? You can also say leejtwg for how long. Another one, hon tau. This definition is how much, right? Because ntau is much or many. So how much? An example, qhovtwg mi hon tau li. You should give milk how much? So how much milk should I give? Give about 2 cups. Now this is when we don't really know how much to give. qhovtwg mi hon tau li. How much milk should I give? Give about 2 cups. These last two, hon tau, aren't often used, but this helps you to know how to recognize them and how to use them. Hon tau is very similar in meaning to the next word, which we use a little bit more often. npaum. It means how much as, how many as. How do you use it? You have a noun and then npaum. So how something is it? An example, something is they npaum. They far. How far is something? Or something they npaum. How long is something? They, long, right? Do you remember our question word, the? You can interchange this with the, to. Example, something, they bao the. How far is something? They bao the. How long is something? Now, this one you'll need to use all the time. Bei zhe. How much? How many? Use this one with a classifier. You have to say how many of something, right? How many people? How many cats? How much hair? Bei zhe plus the classifier is how many of that something. An example for this. Ko mua bei zhe leng min yua. How many kids do you have? You have how many children? Go mua beja leng menua. Your answer? Oh, gu mua yi leng menua. I have 8 children. Gu mua yi leng menua. There's one exception to make it natural when talking about money. The word for money has to come before how much. So, go mua nia beja. How much money do you have? This is, I think, the only exception I ran into. It just sounds more natural that way for some reason. So it's always the one way, except for when it's different. Not that you should really be asking people how much money they have, but at least you know how to ask naturally. Okay, yay! We covered a bunch of reporter question words, and your brain is full. So let's come up with one more type of question word in our video. It's a tag question. Tag, to tag on the end of a sentence, turning it into question, an inquiry, right? Very simple, we'll go briefly into it. You're gonna have the subject plus nay, nay, easy. So this word is a follow-up to a previous statement or question. So you've been talking about something and then you wanna say afterwards, and you, right? Because you just can't start a conversation. And you? And you're like, and me what? Something has to already been discussed, and then you use this to follow up in the sentence, or at least after a subject has been introduced. For example, an introduction. Go hu li jia. Your name is called how? What is your name? Gu hu bang. Go ne. The answer is I'm Peng. And you? And what about you? Go ne. Right? So we've already had some dialogue. What's your name? My name is Peng. And you? And you? Okay. It follows up. This word ne acts a lot like the word law from page 3 of the worksheet from video 1 in this series. But the major difference here is that it's not requiring a yes or no answer. It's kind of an open question. Very nice. Yay! Oh my goodness, you're rocking the Hmong questions. So for review, tu means which, like which one, which person. Therefore, you need to add a noun before tu. That noun can be a classifier, such as pao tu, which book, ya tu, which thing, tu tu, which person. Tu is also in a lot of reporter questions. There's tons of variations, but some of the common ones you'll see are leng tu, which leng is also a classifier for people. Leng tu, who. Tau tu, when. Ka tu. Remember, this can have 2 meanings. As a reporter question, it means which place or where. Ka tu. But remember, if you're going to use it like classifying something, you can say which thing. You like which thing in this paragraph. You like ka tu. Okay. Used less often that way, but it does happen. More reporter questions. Leejtwg, what? Vi li jia, why? Li jia, how? Npaum li jia, how much as, how long as? Beja, how much, how many? And don't forget our little tag word that we just pop at the end of it is nay, nay. So what about? What about you? What about him? It follows after another sentence. I'm good. What about you? Go nay. Nicely done. Do you know that you are now a Hmong question asking rock star? Excellent. What's your homework? Yes, you have homework. Make a list of the questions you use in a day. Which of those questions do we cover in this lesson? Put forth some effort to turn those questions into Hmong questions. Share them with a friend to see how close you got. Yes, and you're going to do so good. Or just sit there with the worksheet and practice making up questions from what we covered today, as many as you can. Maybe incorporate some from video 1 and this one, video 2. Put them all together. Keep repeating them, keep practicing them. Don't forget which you've already learned previously. You want to keep building. That's going to drill them into your brain and your memory, and you'll be able to use them long term, use them yourself, hear them when others speak to you. That's right, get creative. Now, I know I said when we were discussing the word bua in video 1, not to use any other question words in a bua sentence, that you would be changing the meaning. Well, guess what's next? I'm going to show you what breaking the rules does in video 3. And let me tell you, you don't want to miss out on these cool sentences. And you're definitely ready for the next video. So, thank you so much for joining me. Please like this video, subscribe, share it with a friend learning Hmong. Come check out our website for classroom courses with more lessons, worksheets, audio files, flashcards, lots of that. So we'll see you in video 3. Shinji dewa.